guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a little bit about MetaTrader 5, the platform that we'll be using for our automated trading, that we will be putting our expert advisors on. And I'm just going to run you through some of the features and the basic layout and some of the options that you have with MetaTrader 5. So let's start with the timeframes. Now the timeframes is as bar you can see here on the taskbar. We have M1, M5, M15, M30, H1, H4, D1, W1 and MN. And basically what that is it's the 1 minute chart, the 5 minute, the 15, the 30, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 1 day, the 1 week, and the 1 month. Now, if we look at this chart here, and I'm just going to expand it, this is the apple. What you can see is that currently it is on M15, so this is the 15-minute chart, and each one of these candlesticks, each one of these bars represents a 15-minute time period. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. And we can zoom in by clicking on this plus here, and what you'll see is that as we click on it, they get a little bit bigger, so it makes it a little bit easier to see, and you can see exactly what the high and the low was simply by putting your mouse over it and the movement in that time frame in the candlestick itself. There was the information there. If we put our mouse over it, it will give us the information. You can see the open high, the low, and the close at that time. So that is the 15-minute. If we click on the M30, you'll see that the chart changes. And this is the 30 minutes. So now each one of these candlesticks represents a 30-minute time period, and the same for the rest of them. Just put it back on M15. And what I'm going to do is zoom out a little bit simply by clicking on zoom out. And there we go. We can get a much better idea of what's going on there. The next thing is the Marketwatch window, and that is this window that is just under our timeframes here. And what the Marketwatch window gives us is the symbols that we have selected to have in our Marketwatch, the bid price and the ask price. Now, if you right click anywhere here and you get the menu, and then we're going to select columns. And then what we're going to do from columns is we're going to select the spread. Now what you'll see is that we have an additional column that's open on the right, and this is giving us the spread, which is the difference between the bid and the ask price. This is the amount that the broker will take as a fee for trading on this particular asset or any one of these assets. Each one has a different spread. Below that, we have our navigator window. And what you'll see in the navigator window is that we have our account information, the various indicators that are available to us. So if you had to put a custom indicator, it would appear here. Next, we have the expert advisors, and we will of course get into that a little bit more detail in another video where I'll show you how to put the expert advisors into MetaTrader 5 and how to then attach them to your chart. And then below that, we have scripts and services, and that's about it. One more thing I wanted to show you on Marketwatch actually, guys, is that if you right click anywhere, what you'll see is that this menu pops up and we can then select symbols. And now under symbols, these are all the various symbols that are available to us. And as you can see, we have Forex, commodities, indexes, stocks. And then under stocks, we have a few sub items, the US, this is what we'll be using. So we've got the Dow, the New York Stock Exchange, and the NASDAQ. There are crypto, gives you the various cryptos that you can trade using this platform or this broker. And then custom, nothing in custom at the moment. If you want to add one, it's very easy. Let's go to stocks, let's go to the Dow, for example, and let's say that we wanted to add Chevron. All we do is we double click it, and what you'll see is that the icon has gone gold. And what you'll see is on the left in the Marketwatch window, CVX, there it is now available for us. So we can now open a chart, we can add an expert advisor, and we can actually use this chart to trade this stock. Below the symbol, you'll see that there is an information window, and this gives you all of the various specifications on the asset. So it'll give you the digits, the contract size, the spread, the margin currency, etc. All of the various specifications for this currency. This is quite important to know when we are trading with expert advisors, when we are generating expert advisors, because we'll put this information into Expert Advisor Studio. So I'm just going to close that for a second. The next thing is, of course, the main chart window. Now what you can see here is that it's an AAPL, it's an Apple chart. However, I do have 4 other charts open. So I have 5 charts. As you can see, each one is for a different asset. And if I want to see them all on the screen at the same time, I would simply go to this button at the top here, Arrange Windows, click on that, and you'll see it'll auto-arrange it. If you want to maximize one, you can either click on it here, or let's go back. If you double click on it on the actual tab, so let's say, for example, the Tesla, if I double click on that, you'll see it opens up Tesla. And if I double click on it again, it'll go back to the auto-arranged view. The next thing is the types of charts. What we have here, and we have discussed it briefly, is the candlestick. We can, however, change this. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. So let's just maximize it. You can see the candlesticks quite clearly there. On the top here, we can make a bar chart by clicking on that. Then you'll see that we still have the body and open, high, low, and close, but not as visible as it is on the candlesticks. And then we have a line chart, which we never use. This just gives you a good overall view of what the price action was during a certain period. But generally speaking, we'll always keep it on candlesticks. So let's zoom out there a little bit again. The next thing we have is the chart property. So once you have a chart in front of you, you simply right click anywhere on the chart and we can go down to properties. From here, you can change various aspects of your chart. So for example, we can go to the colors and what you see is bar up and bar down are the same color. So let's make bar up. Let's keep that green and let's make bar down red, for example. And let's keep our bull candle as, let's make it green. And the bear candle, let's make that red as well. Then we're going to go to common. And what you see is that there is currently a grid. I don't want that grid there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it. And we're going to do that by going to show. And from here, we're going to unselect show the grid. I'm going to click on OK. And what you see is now my chart looks very different. So I've customized it to the way that I want to do it. So very cool. You can really customize it and make it look like whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever will be easier for you. Next, we have the trading terminal, and that is this window that is below our chart. And on the trading terminal, what we have is the first tab, which is trade. This will show you all of our trades that are currently open. We don't have any trades, so that's why there's nothing here. Then we have exposure, but we haven't made any trades on this platform, so we don't have any exposure at this point. Then we have history, news, mailbox, calendar, and company. This is all stuff that comes from the broker. Alerts if you've set up alerts, and signals if you've set up signals. But importantly, the one that we're going to also look at a little bit later is the journal. And this will show you everything that has happened, not just the trades that have opened and closed, but everything that has happened on your chart. So every action that you have performed, from opening your chart to maximizing it, to basically this is a log file, but this will also show you the trades that have opened and closed, and we will compare the results to Expert Advisor Studio. Right, so let's go back to trade. As you can see again, no trades are open. The next thing we have is the drawing tools, but now as algo traders, we don't use these because the expert advisors do all of the work for us. But just so you get an idea of what they are, let's say for example, here we have the vertical tool. So let's say there was a point on the chart that I wanted to mark. Let's say here, for example, where we had quite a big bull candle. So we're going to click on that. You can see it's not quite there. So all we're going to do, because these little squares are at the top and the bottom, we are able to move it and edit it. So what we're going to do is we just put our mouse on it and just drag it to where we want it. And that gives us a break, or it gives us a marker if we want to use it. You also have the diagonal tool, which is very similar, but this is really used more for drawing trends. So for example, here was an uptrend here. So if you wanted to do that, and maybe if you wanted to enter a trade here, for example, where this candle broke, then this is what you would use. This shows you a trend line. It's used for trend lines. And then various other tools. We have the crosshairs, and this isn't a drawing tool, but this is a marking tool. So wherever you put the crosshairs, it will show you, if you look on the bottom, it'll show you the date and the time, and on the right, it will show you the price of the asset at that exact time. Then one that is obviously very, very important, but we will discuss it when we place our expert advisors onto our chart, is the algo trading button. Now this has to be enabled. Currently it's in red, so it's disabled, but this has to be in green like that before we put our expert advisors onto the chart. But like I said, I will show you that in much more detail in the video where I'll show you how we place the expert advisors onto the chart. So guys, that is MetaTrader 5 in a nutshell. Don't worry too much about the drawing tools and the vertical tools because you're not really going to be using that with your algo trading. What is important though is to understand the Marketwatch, to understand what your spread is, to understand how to add an asset. And again, all we're going to do is just right click. We're going to go to symbols, and from here you've got all the various symbols. Alright guys, so I hope you found this video informative. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the section below and I'll be happy to answer you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.